All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. It is currently 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:03 a.m., and I'm about to just lock in and do some work, but I figured I'd sit down and talk to you guys for a little bit. There's just some thoughts that I've had in the last couple of days, just reflecting about my entrepreneurial journey and some of the lessons that I'm still extracting to this day. And the lessons that I want to talk to you guys about are the three things that you should absolutely avoid when you're starting your entrepreneurial journey. Now, starting your entrepreneurial journey is a very difficult journey, it's very lonely, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And hopefully, these three things can help you minimize the problems that you're going to come across. And so, yeah, let's get into it. So, the number one thing that you should absolutely avoid when you're starting your entrepreneurial journey is becoming a bad partner. So, this may not be applicable to everybody. This only applies to people who have a partner. So, when you get into your entrepreneurial journey, you're going to end up spending a lot of time with yourself. You're going to spend a lot of time just learning, just figuring things out, and you're slowly going to push people away. Not that you want to, not that you're doing it intentionally, but it just happens, right? But you want to make sure that you're mindful that this is happening. And mind you, it's going to happen. You got to make sacrifices in order for you to become better. You have to get rid of some other things, whether that's friends, get rid of some of those hobbies. But when it comes to your partner, this is not something that you want to take lightly. You want to make sure that you're still showing up the same way that you were before you got into this entrepreneurship journey. If you try to just fully ghost your relationship and fully get rid of your responsibility of being a good boyfriend or being a good girlfriend, then it's just going to cause so much problem. It's going to cause so much friction. It's going to cause maybe some level of resentment from the other person. And if that person really matters to you, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect you a lot, and you want to make sure that you avoid that at all costs. Because sometimes you might think that you're doing yourself favor by not talking to them all day because you're on grind mode. But what you don't realize is that if you just invest maybe like an hour of your day, just let them know that, hey, I'm still here, I'm just grinding, I love you, I'm going to be able to see you XYZ. So it's better to make that 1 hour investment in order for you to not have your entire day ruined. Even though you think logically that it's making you more productive by not talking to them and ignoring them, it's actually going to have a negative effect because it's going to cause problems which then will take over your entire day. It might even ruin your week. So yeah, avoid being a bad partner because it's super easy to become a bad partner. It's super easy to just neglect your partner and validate yourself and tell yourself, hey, I'm just grinding right now. I'm in the season of grind. Leave me alone. My head is down, blah, 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 blah. Super easy, but you don't realize that it's actually going to have a diminishing return when you get into big arguments, right? Especially if you get broken up to, especially if you get broken up with, it's going to fuck you up. It's going to fuck you up, right? So you want to make sure that you invest some time into becoming or being a good partner. You want to avoid being a bad partner. Anyway, moving on to the second one is avoid spending future money. Now, let me explain what this means. So future money is this idea of the money you're going to make in the future. So you believe in yourself so much that in a few months from now, you're going to be making $10,000 a month. You're going to be making $15, $20, $30, $100,000 a month, right? And because you believe in yourself so much and you're operating in abundance, which by the way is amazing and you should, but it's also a trap because if you have few good months and then you inflate your lifestyle and you start spending money, even though you might have it, even though the cash flow might have been really nice. But the thing about business, especially when you're starting out, is that it's very, very inconsistent. You might make 20 grand this month, and next thing you know, you might not get another $100 for the next 3 months. That's just how the business world goes. right? Even if you're grinding as hard as you can. It just happens, right? So avoid spending future money. Now, I'm a victim of this. I'm a victim of this because I believe in myself so much that I just know that whatever position I put myself into in like bad financial position, I know I can get myself out of this. Right? So sometimes I just spend money with confidence, spend future money, thinking that I can always make it back and more. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. And when you're starting out, you want to make sure that you want to build a big safety net so that you can go into the offense whenever an opportunity arises. So just stack up. You don't need to spend as much money as you don't need to spend as much money as you think you need to. Just chill out a little bit, you know? Perhaps I might not even talking to you right now. I might be talking to my old self and future self. I'm talking to myself directly here. It's almost like I'm consulting myself. Stop spending money you don't fucking have. Even though you know that you're gonna get it back in the future. Stop it. Stop it. Just relax. Relax. I know you'll make it. I know you'll make it. Start spending those money when you actually have more of it. When you have an abundance of it. When you have too much of it. When you have the surplus of it. But as of right now, even if you have a few good months, just relax. Relax. Okay? Avoid spending future money. But like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It also serves you because when you put your mind in a way where you're operating in abundance, you're not afraid. Because for me, at least, I operate best when my back is against the wall. When I know I need to make a few grand, I'm fucking sending those emails, making those phone calls, doing whatever it is I need to do to get that money. But at the same time, you put yourself in a very, very stressful situation. And sometimes you want to make sure you have the mental capacity to work on other things and not worry about the financial stuff. Because financial stress in business really limits your growth. Because it's just so mentally draining, right? Your business could be going well. Things could be lining up. But if you have that financial problem in the back of your mind, it just eats you up. Eats you up, eats you out. I don't know. Either or. So, yeah. Number 1, avoid being a bad partner. Number 2, avoid spending future money. Now, the third one is avoid being a know-it-all. Because you don't. A lot of the times when you get into this entrepreneurial journey, you study, you keep on studying. And then when you finally feel like you've gotten it, now you're going to go and execute. But one thing you realize is you don't know as much as you actually need to know. And when you're first starting out, you want to make sure that you don't have an ego in the sense that you have to be still willing to learn from other people. Never stop learning because there's always more opportunities out there. You need to expand your mind. Right? It's so easy to fall into this trap of like, okay, I know how to do it. I know how to do it. For example, for me, when I first started drop shipping, I watched a few videos. I probably spent like 100 hours just watching drop shipping videos, right? How to build a website, how to create ads, blah, 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 everything. So I thought that I knew it all, but I actually really didn't. What I should have done is I should have done more research on how to run proper Facebook ads, what kind of copywriting you need to do when you're selling. But I saw the first few steps and I thought that was everything that I needed to know. And so you want to make sure that you're still exploring, even though you feel like you know majority of it, or even if you feel like you're well equipped to conquer this journey that you're on, understand that you don't know shit. You still don't know shit. You're still starting out. And so be open to still learning. Be open to have conversations with people. Be open to ask questions. Don't have an ego, right? And so avoid being a know-it-all, because if you also act that way, it's just such a negative look from other people that people are not going to want to be around you. If you ask people questions and they feel like you're a know-it-all, they might not even entertain you. So yeah, avoid being a know-it-all because you don't know it all. Be open to always learning. You gotta open up your mind. You gotta make sure that you're still adopting and adopting and adapting new ideas, and don't be afraid to implement and revise, because that's what business is all about. Just trial and error, trial and error. So avoid being a know-it-all because you don't. Things are always changing. So even if you feel like you know everything, it might have changed, right? And so, yeah, those are the three things. Number one, avoid being a bad partner, because when you just try to escape from it, it's actually going to have a bigger negative impact in with your business. Avoid spending future money so that you can go into the offense and also prevent yourself from having some financial stress, because that also eats into your productivity. And number three, avoid being a know-it-all because you don't know it all, and still be open to learning from other people. So these are just three things that I had in my mind. These are just some of the things that I've extracted from myself, being able to look back and acknowledge the mistakes that I've made and what I could have changed. So these are the three things, and I figured that I'd share it with you guys. Hopefully this makes sense. This is kind of really the first time I'm really talking about it out loud. These are just some ideas that came to my mind about a few days ago, and talking in front of camera about it, I'm still kind of processing it. So hopefully it kind of made sense. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sitting down with me and listening. I will see you next time. Thank you for being here, and most importantly, thank you for trying. Peace.